And welcome into another edition of Tobs Talk. I am Riley Corcoran. The Tobs bust out of their offensive slump last night, defeating the Morehead City Marlins 11-5. Scored all 11 of their runs in the first 3 innings, coming off 2 home runs, primarily a 3-run home run from Ridge Gonsolin in the second inning, his second of the season, and then a grand slam from Seth Neely out of Wofford in the 3rd inning. That really propelled the Tobs to a victory. Michael Wells got the win on the mound, and the Tobs bullpen was brilliant yet again, allowing just 3 hits in 4 innings of work and not allowing a run for the 4th consecutive game at being the bullpen. The Tobs tonight will welcome in the Fayetteville Swamp Dogs, the East Division rivals' 5th meeting out of 12 this season. It's been all Fayetteville so far. They've won the first 4 contests, 3 of them coming at home, that being at the Swamp. So see if the Tobs can get over the hurdle tonight. On the mound will be JT Brubaker, right-hander out of Akron. He's a 2-2 record going into this game, but one of his 2 losses came at Fayetteville, where he struggled, just 3 innings pitched for JT, allowing double-digit hits in that contest. On the mound for Fayetteville will be Sean Talkington, the right-hander out of Emporia State. Has not recorded a win yet for Fayetteville, but has an ERA under 2, so it'll be a tough matchup for Wilson as they will try and beat Fayetteville for the first time all season. There's only 3 games left in the first half of this CPL season. Tobs 13-10, Fayetteville 15-9. They're jockeying for position for 2nd place, although that doesn't clinch a spot. They want to get on a winning streak as they move forward into the second half of the season. 3 straight home games for the Tobs will welcome in Fayetteville tonight, Sunday night, and Tuesday. So the Tobs fans will get plenty of Fayetteville Swamp Dogs, at least try and get to know their team as well. So we're excited for the matchup tonight against Fayetteville Swamp Dogs. It will be Bridgestone, the sponsor, Wilson, City of Wilson Employee Night as well at the ballpark. We hope to see you out there for the 3rd consecutive night, hopefully with 2,000 fans at historic Fleming Stadium. Coach Austin Love will join me in a little bit talking about this game's matchup as well as last night busting out of that offensive slump. Matt Michael will join me on later in the show as get ready for the 5th meeting of the year between the Fayetteville Swamp Dogs and the Wilson Tobs. It's all coming up next. This is Tobs Talk on Greenlight. Riley Corcoran back here with Austin Love. The offense sparked last night, and I know you smile immediately because we've been talking, it seems, forever about how the offense has been sputtering. 1 run here, 3 runs here. Last night, busting out in a big way. 11 runs in the first 3 innings, 2 home runs, the long ball. You talk about the extra base hits all the time. How nice is it at third base to maybe give a couple of high fives on 2 home runs coming through a little bit easier?
It was very enjoyable. And, you know, the first one with Ridge, he's been taking really good cuts when he gets ahead of the count. And right before the pitcher delivered the ball, I said, don't miss it. And that's kind of what he's been doing. Even against Team USA the other night, they threw him a first pitch fastball, and he just hit it a mile in the air. And, you know, that's kind of where he's been. He just missed it. And last night he didn't miss it, you know, put over the wall. And Seth Neely's, I didn't even think it was getting out from my vantage point. I thought it was just going to be a double kind of off the top of the wall, and it just kept going. And, you know, made for an easy victory last night. You know, even though Micah struggled, he battled and gave us the innings we needed for him to get the win. So, you know, it was all in all a good night. I think out of all the wins, 13 now for the Tobs, that's probably, the 2nd easy win we could say? I mean, as far as less stressful throughout, 3rd easy win throughout. Yeah. But the Tobs won 11-5 last night. Pitching wasn't 100% there. You'd say Michael, like you said, he battled through 5 innings. The bullpen, phenomenal yet again. You know, we were voting for the All-Star game, at least from my side of things. The bullpen, the back end for the Tobs has been so phenomenal, just being able to shut down the game. How'd you really approach that? Because it seemed like Morehead City wanted to make a run to come back. They scored 2 there in the 4th inning, and even though it was 11-5, it seemed like, well, maybe they might want to put this in. You put Josh Johnson in the ball game, the stopper for the Wilson Tobs, and he kind of set the tone for the rest of the bullpen. Yeah, Morehead City is very dangerous because they have some table setters at the top, you know, who can run a little bit, and, you know, 1 bunt single, 1, you know, single opposite field, even a walk. And then you've got their 3-4 guys who just hit the ball out of the ballpark. You know, even their 2 guy, Kramer, he can hit the ball out of the ballpark too. So you have to just have to continue to attack at bats and, you know, make sure, you know, you're in the zone. And Josh Johnson, he fits them matchup-wise because of the sinker and things like that.
And Ryan Kramer leads the CPL in home runs now with 8, and 2nd so far, at least in home runs, is Morehead City. Tobs now 4th. But when you look at the ball game again with Ryan Kramer being able to hit home runs, Chase McDonald being able to hit home runs for Morehead City, Tobs ended up getting 2. Seth Neely's bomb, and that was his first for the Tobs this year. He hit a couple for Wofford, but for him, the approach to the plate, he moved into the cleanup spot, or the number 3 spot last night. How's his approach been getting better throughout the course of the season?
It's more of a timing thing, you know, and talking with him about his at-bats. I think he tends to look for pitches a little bit too fine at times. I think he's a very advanced hitter, and I think he's got a good stroke. And there's balls that he can drive in certain counts that he takes. So last night he just, whether or not he's getting it from me, he just kind of did what I like to teach guys. And with runners on base, jump on the first pitch fastball, and he jumped on one and hit it over the wall, which is really exciting.
What is very impressive, though, I thought in that 6-run third inning, it all came with 2 outs. There was 2 outs and nobody on base. Matt Rembolak drew a walk, and then Logan Regner, I know no one's really going to talk about it throughout the course of the whole game with the Tobs scoring 11 runs, drops down a drag bunt and beats it out. That really started the rally and kept it going. How impressive is it? All of that came with 2 outs.
Yeah, you talk about Matt. Matt's at-bats have been really good here lately. He hasn't been rewarded with a whole lot of hits, but he's competing, getting deep in the count, and been getting on base a little bit. And then Logan has really turned it on here lately, taking advantage of his playing time, and he kind of saves that bunt. It's like in his back pocket for whenever he needs it. As long as he makes sure the third baseman feels it, it's pretty much a hit, anytime he wants it. And, it helps the turnover to have guys like that in the 9-hole. And then you've got a guy like Ridge at the top who is a leadoff guy but who has some thump, who can, produce runs for you too. So
dangerous, so much speed, and now it's time to turn the page. And Fayetteville Swamp Dogs come to town. This will be the 5th meeting of the year. It's been all Fayetteville so far, 4-0 in these meetings. It won't be the last time. They played 12 times, that being the Tobs and the Swamp Dogs. So trying to get the better of them, at least in the first half. Both teams right now 2nd and 3rd. Fayetteville defeated Edenton last night. What is it? I know we talked about it maybe from a mental side of things after that last loss, that maybe it's more mental than physical, because the teams are pretty close when you look at their stats and whatnot. What do you think it's going to take to get over the hurdle of beating Fayetteville for the first time and then hopefully forgetting about the first 4?
I think we played them so long ago, it seems like that there really isn't any issue. We just need to go out there and continue to try to play the best baseball. I think our guys, they may be looking at this game as a game they want to, win just because of the previous games. But, from a standpoint of our approach as a coaching staff and talking with them, we're just going to treat it like we did last night and the night before, and, just continue to go out there and be aggressive. And like I said, I think we played them so long ago, it seems like we haven't faced them in a while. So it'll kind of be like, the series is kind of being renewed, since we're going to play them today and then on Sunday as well.
And again, on Tuesday, too. So the next 3 home games for the Tobs all will come against the Fayetteville Swamp Dogs. And at the end of the first half, trying to get on a streak. There's only 3 games remaining, but Tobs right now sitting in 3rd, in a good spot, I think, in the sense where you can tell, you can sense that it's time for a streak. It's time to start getting hot. How important is that to try and emphasize to your team, hey, this is the time, let's get on a streak and let's play our best baseball?
That's pretty much what we've been focusing on, is, trying to run our best guys out there offensively, defensively, and our pitchers have done a pretty good job. And, just trying to do what Edenton did, try to put a streak together and kind of have some separation there. And, this game here is a big game for us in that aspect, because it will give us a winning streak as far as league ball and, kind of get us into the weekend, and we can probably have a really good week if we win today.
And last question for you, with JT Brubaker being on the mound tonight for the Wilson Tobs. I mean, he's been great all year with the exception of 3 innings at Fayetteville, and trying to maybe conquer his demons in the sense of what happened down at the Swamp a couple weeks ago. What are you looking for JT tonight to get on the mound and have that short-term memory to forget about that start against Fayetteville he had a couple weeks ago?
I think our guys in our ballpark have a different sense about them, and I think they, it's just something about playing the historic Fleming Stadium that kind of turns us on a little bit. And I think pitching at home, he's going to be fine. I don't think he's worried about the previous start against Fayetteville at all, and I think he knows he's going to perform better than he did that time. And hopefully he'll go out there and give us all of his effort and come out on top.
Tobs looking for their 3rd straight CPL win. We'll talk with Matt Micah coming up next to break down the matchup against the Fayetteville Swamp Dogs. This is Top Talk on Greenlight. Riley Corcoran and Matt Micah back here with you, getting ready for tonight's game against the Fayetteville Swamp Dogs, the 5th meeting of the year between these 2 rivals, 5th of 12. It's amazing with the unbalanced schedule, how it works out, and normally wouldn't be that big of a deal, Matt, with them playing 12 times, but it's against a team that has owned the Tobs. Fayetteville, again, from a mental side of things, you just heard from Coach Love about it, but from a mental side of things, how important is it to get over the hurdle and get the monkey off your back? Just win the first one, then the first 4 would kind of be erased at this point.
Oh, it's huge. Just like you said, you took the words right out of my mouth, monkey off the back. It's one of those things where you keep playing, and you can't do anything right against them. So as hard as you try, you can't do anything right. It's huge for them to go out there, play play their game, take the confidence that they built last night into this game, and just go out and play their game.
And it's something too with the first 4 games. It's a little bit of everything. How the Tobs, maybe you could say, found a way to lose. The first game, it was a wild one, back and forth, a close game. I know you remember it. It was at the Swamp, but the Tobs scored 1 in the 8th, 2 more in the 9th before surrendering the winning run. And the bottom of the 9th actually walked in the winning run. So that was interesting. Game number 2 was just a blowout where JT Brubaker just didn't have his best stuff. There's nothing else to work around. And then another game, the Tobs got blown out. Then the 4th game was all about errors, 4 earned runs by Fayetteville. So it's been a variety of ways they've lost, but let's go on JT Brubaker, the starter tonight for the Tobs. He has been great with the exception of those 3 innings he threw at the Swamp. What does he need to do from a mental side of things to, hey, erase that last start or just maybe some vindication to have a good start tonight against Fayetteville?
He's going to go out there and just pitch with confidence. He's going to go out there and dominate the strike zone, and the team feeds off his energy. When he goes out there and performs like he does, pumping 93 like we saw against Peninsula, the team feeds off of that, the crowd feeds off of that, and they'll just put on an amazing performance.
And JT Brubaker did come in relief for 1 inning against Team USA, but he will be 100% for tonight's start. And throwing for JT Brubaker, a lot of it is about pace. To me, when he is cruising, he's so quick, because when I'm calling the game up there, I don't even have time to talk even between pitches, because he's on the rubber, he's back going. But then when runners get on base, he slows things down almost to a point where it affects him, affects the rest of the team. How does he try and keep that pace maybe at a constant, where in the sense where the team can stay behind him and he can get in a constant groove?
I feel like when runners get on, he pays attention too much to the runners, and it feels like, maybe he's a little too slow to the plate, and guys will have like a big lead and start stealing on him. You just got to relax, make a couple looks against them, step off the rubber a little time, a couple times, get in a groove of his, and let the defense work for him.
And again, Fayetteville, very good stealing bases. They are second right now in the CPL, pretty much in the top 3 every offensive category except for triples and home runs. How unique is it, Matt, where you look at the top side of things? They're in the middle of the pack, and they're towards the bottom as far as team average, but they're first in doubles. They're in the top 5 in triples and home runs. Fayetteville, despite all their success this year, has not hit a home run. Only 1 triple. It's amazing to me that they're just single, basically station-to-station team, yet they're so good offensively. How unique is that to see?
Oh, it's very impressive. First off, they're not the guys that will, hit the ball out of the ballpark. They're just going to base to base, just like you said. That's what it is. I believe Coach Love said it earlier in the year when we were talking. That's not impressive. How do you produce runs? Is just get on base and go to base, bunt, play small ball, and produce runs that way.
And not afraid to bunt guys over again, steal them over, sacrifice flies, all the way around the board. That's how Fayetteville gets it done. That is why they have been successful against the Tobs. Let's go back to last night, where we can talk more positive thoughts, at least about the offense. 11 runs. They scored them all in the first 3 innings, but how great was that to see from a side of things, getting out of their groove? You were talking about their approach at the plate before last night's contest. It worked. It finally did for them. Seth Neely with the grand slam, Ridge Gonsolin with the 3-run home run. How nice was that to see for them to finally break out of the slump?
Oh, it was fantastic to see, especially Neely. I know Neely's been, struggling. He's one of those big guys, one of those power hitters, and you expect, big numbers from him, the doubles, the triples, the home runs. It was great to see him, break out of that shell right now, especially in the middle half of the season as we go to the All-Star break, and hopefully he'll carry that confidence into the next half.
And again, Seth Neely, you talked about maybe his struggles a little bit. Well, with that game last night, he vaults into second with the Tobs as far as average. His RBI numbers are up there just in time for All-Star voting, because I turned in my ballot last night. I don't want to reveal too much, but let's just say it helped Seth Neely's cause last night with his game. And now tonight against Fayetteville again, a Friday night contest. How much of it's weird. The next 5 games, Matt, all against Fayetteville and Wilmington. Right. 3 at home against Fayetteville, 2 on the road against Wilmington. As a player to even worry about that, we're in the dog days of summer at this point, trying to end the first half on a positive note. But again, it's so crucial. July 1st, that second half of the season, have to start it out on a winning streak. Do you think the team realizes that right now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Right now, you can't focus on the next day. You have to focus on one day, one game at a time, and focus on each inning. If they focus on each inning and win each inning, I believe I said that earlier in the year, they'll produce wins that way.
And we'll see if they can produce their first win against the Fayetteville Swamp Dogs this evening tonight at historic Fleming Stadium. We'll wrap the show next. This is Tobs Talk on Greenlight. And another episode of Tobs Talk in the books. The Tobs will welcome in the Fayetteville Swamp Dogs for the squad's 5th meeting of the year. Fayetteville has owned the rivalry so far, winning the first 4 contests between these two. Tonight at the ballpark, Bridgestone is our sponsor. It'll be City of Wilson employee night, so hope to see a lot of people out at the ballpark. Maybe our 3rd consecutive night this week, where we have more than 2,000 fans watching the Tobs. Hope to see you out at the ballpark. JT Brubaker gets the ball. The right-hander from Akron is trying to improve on his first start against Fayetteville and try and get over the hurdle there. Sean Talkington will get the start for the Fayetteville Swamp Dogs. He has a sub-2 ERA already, throwing 26 innings, so very, very impressive. Tobs with just 3 games remaining here in the first half and trying to build a winning streak as they propel themselves to the second half of the CPL season that starts on July 1st. You heard from Coach Austin Love earlier today about the team's offensive outburst and trying to continue that on. Matt, Mike, and I broke down this matchup, and we'll be on Tobs Talk again on Sunday, a special time, again, a 5 o'clock start time. We'll be on Tobs Talk at 4 o'clock. The team will take on the Fayetteville Swamp Dogs yet again. We'll see you then. This is Tobs Talk on Greenlight.